Welcome back everybody to another episode of Let's Talk Tuesdays, and today's topic comes from Hockey Maniac 828, and he wants me to talk about pro wrestling's current state. So this is a very interesting topic and something that I certainly am very interested in talking about. Now, you can either look at this at two perspectives. You can look at this at a business standpoint, how wrestling is doing financially. Is business booming? Are we on the according to Jeff Jarrett, we're on a wrestling boom right now. Is that going to happen? Or you can talk about it as a fan standpoint. Are we enjoying the product as much as we used to? Is this the best time of wrestling ever? Is this the pinnacle of enjoyment we're ever going to get out of wrestling, or is this the dark times? Is this terrible? We'll get into this. So you can look at it at two different perspectives. I'm going to probably cover both. We'll start off with a fan's perspective. Now, obviously, I started watching wrestling in 2005, late 2005, about October 2005. And I was, I think, 10 years old when I started watching, and I could not get enough of it. Now, this is 2005. I think a period of time where I thought wrestling was awesome. Now, I look further back, or ahead now, and I still think the 2005 to 2007 period where I was watching it every week and in love with it was probably my favorite time. Obviously because that's what made me fall in love with it. That's what made me enjoy it. That's what that was my period. That was my era of time. I stopped watching in 2008, and I stopped watching because I didn't have access to watch anymore. Not because I wanted to. I was still loving it. I was 13 years old, not even. So I was still a kid. I was still loving it. I was still, tuning every week, and I couldn't get enough of it. I had the action figures, I had the posters, I had the belts, I had, you name it. I was in love with it. So I stopped watching because I had to, not because I wanted to. But then I tried to watch it, when I could, and I just couldn't keep up with it, so I just gave up with it. And I flicked it on a couple of times in 2010 when the Nexus thing was going on. I thought, I can't be bothered. Who the hell are these guys? I didn't know anybody anymore. I couldn't, recognize myself with it anymore. And I didn't have enough time to sit down and watch it every single week. And I tried for a bit. I think I watched, 3 or 4 Raws in a row or something. And, I just couldn't get myself into it again. It wasn't until late 2011, well, pretty much 2012, where I heard about, I think, Kane putting his mask back on. I thought, oh, this will be cool. And then I heard about The Rock returning as well. I thought, holy shit, this is going to be awesome. So I tuned in. It started 2012, and I have not stopped watching since. I think I've watched every single Raw thereabouts since. Probably except for the Christmas ones. So I love wrestling. Now, do I compare current state of wrestling to the Attitude Era, where it's considered to be the pinnacle? What is currently better? Now, obviously, when I look back, I just got the WWE Network. I just got it, and I've been watching a few, older pay-per-views. I've only had it for a few days, so I've been sitting back and watching some older stuff. Obviously, you can't just sit back and watch a pay-per-view, in my opinion, and enjoy it. I have to know the build-up, the story, the lead-up to it, in my opinion, to watch it. So I really need to go back and watch, a year of Raws, pretty much, in a row, and immerse myself in that era to really watch it. And then I'll probably sit back and go, holy shit, this is awesome. But I haven't done that yet, so I can't compare the two eras yet. Right now, I really enjoy the current state. I think right now, we are not on a wrestling boom, I don't think. Sorry, Jeff Jarrett. But I think we are in a state where things are really looking up. The dark days are over, and I'm mainly talking about WWE here. Obviously, TNA, they're done. I think TNA are heading down the drain. I give them a couple more years. Then again, we've been saying that every single year for about 5 years, that TNA is going to go down. And hell, I used to be a big TNA fan. I started watching it in 2007, maybe 8, 9, I don't know. I remember watching when the Main Event Mafia was doing their thing. Was that 2009? I don't know. And I thought, oh man, this is fucking cool. I love this, And I remember when I started watching when Kurt Angle came over, and I thought, oh man, this show's actually pretty decent. So I was really liking that. But now I can't watch that garbage. Eric Young is the champion, you gotta be kidding me. So, in terms of competition, wrestling is struggling. Wrestling really needs some competition. And I've been looking into this whole new Jeff Jarrett promotion, what is it, GFW, Global Force Wrestling or whatever. I thought, well, hey, if he can get a TV deal, if he can get himself, a decent roster together, he may be a formidable competition. Who knows? But that's what we need. Obviously, the WCW factor made wrestling boom. I mean, Vince McMahon was not going to take any risk unless he had to. He's on top of the world, and all of a sudden the competition comes along and drives his business down and down and down. He needs to do something drastic to get himself back on top, and that's what he did. It's not going to be till something like that happens again, where we're going to see the best era of wrestling again. But right now, we're in a bit of a transitional phase. The new guys are coming through. The older guys are on their way out. I'm talking about, Cena. He's going back down the mid-card. How long that's going to be, I don't know. He's going to be around the top area, but the show's focus around him is, very minimal. Daniel Bryan gets like 3 segments on Raw. Cena gets maybe 5 minutes on Raw, 1 segment. And, he'll have a match. Sometimes he doesn't even have a match. So he doesn't really have the main focus like he used to, where he was the whole show for God knows how long. So the Cena era is now coming to a close. Batista's back. It's going to be for a short term. He's not really, he's at the top, but he's not really the big focus. Same with Orton. Those are guys there that, for the younger guys to feud with now. And they're still there to keep the product going while they're building new stars. They've made Daniel Bryan. They made CM Punk, who walked out. Will he come back? I don't know. Will he join another promotion? I don't think so. But imagine if you think about it. Imagine if CM Punk did join, this new Jeff Jarrett shit, or TNA. He'll never join TNA. But if he joined another promotion, that would create a bit of a buzz, and that could start a promotion, kickstart them going if he had the heart and his mind into it. So it's not going to really take it's going to take something like that to really kickstart another promotion, get them going. So wrestling right now, I think I've enjoyed the product the most right now since returning to WWE's, weekly viewing. 2012 I thought was, not a bad year. It was not great either. There was some highlights, but there wasn't really a memorable year. 2013 I thought was actually really good for some months there. And so far this year, I've really enjoyed it. WrestleMania was fantastic. So in terms of my enjoyment, my personal perspective on things, the state of wrestling is actually really, really good. The transitional phase, we're getting a lot of new stars coming in, a lot of different things are happening. In my opinion, it's a great kind of period. And it's similar to, what happened at kind of like WrestleMania 20. I read something interesting saying that every 10 years a new kind of phase of wrestling occurs. All these newer guys come through and start going, and maybe 2021 was probably more we're probably talking about 21 more than 20 here, because 21 we made Cena and Batista the new top guys. So we kind of did the same thing here at 30, where we made Daniel Bryan the top guy, Cesaro and Bray Wyatt have been elevated. Now the fact is, will we see those guys stay at the top? And obviously right now wrestling, the viewers right now, they want different needs and wants. They're not able to sit back and enjoy and appreciate a long-term storyline. So it's making it very difficult to create a storyline that's going to intrigue anybody. And obviously there is no mid-card attention, no mid-card storyline. So that's kind of a bit of a problem there. Over on TNA, they just have nobody that can really draw the crowds in. People say push young stars, they do that, and nobody reacts to it. They don't really have anybody that's going to revolutionize the business. And I think they're going to go out of business eventually. When that will happen, I'm not sure. I'm still surprised they're still going now. Why Spike TV haven't cut them off yet. Their ratings are down. Let's go business side now. WWE stock is at an all-time high. It has dropped down recently with the poor network numbers, but really, business is going good. Since they turned PG, their sponsorship money is through the roof. They've got all these different deals. The goodwill of the business is absolutely fantastic. They're doing all these charity events. Everybody wants to be associated with the WWE because they have such a good reputation right now. They're doing all these fantastic things. They've eradicated that trash mouth, attitude styled business that they were. They've eradicated that bad name that they earned from that, and now they're on a clean slate, and everybody kind of wants to be a part of the WWE. They're, everybody will quite happily, come into for an appearance. They know it's not going to affect their image, and that's the kind of situation that the WWE has right now. And will we see an Attitude Era situation? No, we won't, because the WWE is making just as much money now as they were in the Attitude Era, if not more. Probably, twice as much. Pay-per-view numbers are now going away with the WWE Network coming in, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that affects business. But I think the WWE Network is probably the best thing that's ever happened for a fan of wrestling. Will it kill other promotions? Probably. It's going to be very difficult for another promotion to come through now, so that even makes it more difficult for WWE to have competition and create that, epicness that we saw from, the Invasion and two rival companies coming in, and the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, everything like that. So very difficult for that to occur. So for business-wise, the WWE may have eradicated all possibilities of competition coming through. But their money, their revenue they're making is, up, it's through, it's just going to be interesting to see if they can create the next kind of, superstar. They've got, they've gone from Hulk Hogan to The Rock and Austin to John Cena. Who's the next guy? Now people say Roman Reigns, possibly, but we will need to find out who that is, and I think they kind of need to groom that guy in the next couple of years. So it'd be very interesting to see who that guy is, and that could really change the state of the company. If they try and give the ball to somebody and they fail, then that could certainly detriment the company's financial position, no doubt about that. But I think WWE right now is at a good stage. Other promotions are struggling, the independents, and pretty much non-existent. There's plenty of companies out there, but they're not really making a splash at all, and they're really losing all their talent to the big boys, because nobody really wants to stay in an independent promotion for the rest of their lives. They all want to go to the big leagues. Hell, some of them even want to go to TNA for some reason. So right now, the independents and the other promotions in the wrestling world are struggling. But the WWE, they are thriving. They are destroying the competition, and there's no looking back for them. The WWE Network will probably determine their short-term financial success, and whether or not they can create these new stars that they have laid the foundation for, and where we do go in the next couple of years. Looking back, probably in 2016, you look back a couple of years and you go, yeah, this was a great era, because, this guy was made, we've had all these great matches. Certainly the work rate, this has been dubbed as a bit of a work rate era, because there's so many indie guys coming through. It's all about technical wrestling, and they're putting on great matches. It's not about, creating over-the-top, larger-than-life superstars anymore. That kind of era of wrestling has gone away, which in my opinion kind of sucks, because I like the big guys, like you just see on your screen, Ultimate Warrior. Those guys, massive guys, larger-than-life. We're kind of going away from that phase, like they've dubbed it the reality era, and, the reality is that there is no more, big guys without, the reality is that independent guys are coming through, and they're all kind of the Daniel Bryan build. It's kind of a bit sad, but it's good at the same time. But it's something different. It's a bit of a new era of wrestling. So let me know what you guys are thinking on the current state of wrestling. Is the Attitude Era your favorite of all time? What about Ruthless Aggression Era, in Golden Era even? What's your favorite state of wrestling, and what's your opinions on it? And if you got any more questions for Let's Talk Tuesdays, write them in the comments down below. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.